demand it and it would arrive like the next day.
Yeah.
And then the person would be like, what is this?
Yeah, it actually looks like the food has been blurred out on purpose.
The other person also would just reject the photo because it costs money to accept it.
Yeah, true.
I don't want to spend $5 to see a picture of like Wolf's cold pizza.
Oh, no.
Okay, well, let's go into...
Yeah, let's get some old Jin chat and get into Champion Select here for game number 2.
It looks like there may be a delay of the Champion Select. I think the lobby is being remade. There it is.
All right, well, we are banning some stuff, so I think that we're going to be spinning into this draft pretty quickly, and there it is.
Okay, so I think a lot of the reads that the Space was talking about are very accurate, you know, and we spent a lot of time talking about how the side lanes didn't collapse and there were some issues there, but I do think Nongshim can bounce back in this second game with a strong draft. They're playing their blue side, which means that I think they want to have a strong 2v2 in the bottom lane so their jungle can invade and be aggressive early, so that's what I would expect the priority to be like. These must bans are still going to be must bans.
Yep. The Karma is still required as well. We'll see whether the Bros are going to pick up where Nongshim left off. They, of course, banned Varus and Karma first, but it will be the Pantheon. That was their third ban, so they could still mirror it as J4 is going to continue to be taken away. This time, actually, by Nongshim. Really respecting Gideon picking that one up, even though we know Sponge is a brilliant Jarvan player, just not willing to let that one go over.
Yeah.
And so where's the Karma? They are first pick, so they could actually just first pick Karma if they would like to.
They're going to look for the first pick Karma if it's not banned. First pick Karma on red side feels so good too, because you can make sure that you basically have prio in the lane to mess up the early jungle pathing to be aggressive with a bottom 2v2 that has prio, because they just can't get it. I think they will first pick it with that Orianna ban to come through.
Yeah, should be the case. Obviously, Lehens does have a bevy of champions that he can go towards, but Karma feels very, very difficult to fight against. The Caitlyn is sort of what we have left over as far as the really strong lanes alongside it, as well as the Sivir. With the Jarvan banned away, the Sivir feels like a little bit of a better option, perhaps. We know Teddy is great at it as well.
I don't think you want to put Lehens in Quantum Jail and put him on Seraphine here.
Oh, no.
The alternative is trying to get a strong Ryze setup here, or maybe even going like Vi and the Ahri and trying to pick that away, but they're going to go Caitlyn Bard, like you were saying, and try to fight fire with fire here. And Lehens' Bard has had some ups and downs, but I think it's pretty strong right now. And this will kind of force Teddy to go Jhin, because it's going to be able to go toe-to-toe here in terms of the damage and the wave push in response. Not a whole lot of other picks he could go here.
Yeah.
The Ezreal is obviously fearlessly banned. He played it in game 1.
I do hate it that Jhin has found a fair bit of success more recently. Obviously, if you were watching yesterday, Guma having a day out on the champion, but this exact lane did win the last time. It did get picked up as well.
I kind of like Jhin right now when you're not the main character, not even a little bit. You're not even a side character. You're like a cameo.
Yeah.
Only like you don't even appear in the frame of the team fight. It's only your skill shots that fly by. As Loki will grab this Ryze. I thought potentially Nongshim were going to go for the Ryze early themselves, but see if they want to play something like an Anivia into this, or if they'd rather go the Cassiopeia route for Scout. Just gonna look for the classic Azir. I have really doubted the Azir pick, but Scout has been.
I find this
very
really curious though, because Scout was so good at the Anivia into Ryze and just decided not to do it this time around.
I think it's in part due to the fact that he's going to be dealing with this Jhin, which is kind of annoying for Anivia. She can't really easily get access to him. But Scout on this Azir might be able to shuffle his way through, and the Karma doesn't peel very well for that type of engage either. As well as just a ton of comfort here for Scout, even though you mentioned he's great on the Anivia. He's obviously a very strong Azir player.
Yep.
As the Naafiri will be taken away.
I think we might be angling for a bit of a Vi pickup.
I think so. Makes a lot of sense, works well with Azir. They obviously sussed that out as well and go, no, I don't think so.
A little bit figured out there. But one last ban. See whether it is just going to be full focus on the jungle, because obviously we do often see jungle pickups in the first round of picks. Most of the time, it's not often that you get all the way to the second round of picks before the junglers come out. And so maybe the jungle pool is just going to get absolutely torn to shreds in this game. That'd be fun.
Kind of a problem for Hanjin's comp, I think, more than
technically a jungler.
Technically, because Hanjin needs some strong form of engage right now. They need a front line. They need something that goes in that Jin can follow up on. And right now, Ryze isn't it alone. Even though he can rune prison somebody, like if you're rune prisoning into the Deadly Flourish, that's not really a reliable setup. You're gonna need a little bit more. So I really love this Ambessa ban, whether it's for jungle or for top. Both roles, it's gonna give you that engage you're looking for. Gnar gonna be taken away here, which is one of Kingan's best. Very stable on it, and it's very blindable.
Also, Gnar Azir, we've seen so many times. Just kind of works as a bit of team fight setup, and I think Nongshim need a little bit of help as far as, you know, ease of team fight access because of their aversion to it in game number 1.
Hey, it's a Renekton here. Kind of feels like a potential Lee Sin angle for Sponge, actually.
Ooh, that'd be a bit of fun.
But it may be denied.
The Lee Sin angle for
a while, I was
instead.
like, I guess Lee Sin works with these specific comps and owner picks it randomly sometimes, and now it's just like, oh, all the other ones are banned. Just go Lee Sin. That's kind of where we're at in the LCK. What would you pick here? Lee Sin's up. Lock it in.
Well, what is the top laner for casting?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, Kasante's up, but
the Shuriken handshake.
He could have tried to go for something like a cannon, but again, this comp needs a front line. So,
yep,
I like the Kasante more. It also is empowered really well by the Karma, especially when he goes all out in team fights. Poppy would be the choice here. Poppy's great into Lee Sin.
And it's something that Gideon's really good at, but Sponge has also found a fair bit of success on in his career. Right now, it looks like he's playing Jungle Bard. I don't think that's going to happen, as that is your composition here for Nongshim. Far more teamfight focus here this time around. Not going to be sitting in side lanes as much, I would sincerely hope.
There's a lot of threat for Loki, and he's your primary source of damage. And the engage for Hanjin is really, it's quite situational, right? Between Lee Sin kicks and all out, and you know, maybe a rune prison setup, or you know, somebody gets rooted by Karma. Whereas for Nongshim, they've got a lot of engage. They've got a lot of team fight warping abilities between the Tempered Fate and you know, the Renekton getting in and getting the W stun off. So much power in the Emperor's Divide as well. I really like Nongshim's draft in game 2 here a lot more than I did in game 1.
I would agree, and I really hope that they play it out accordingly as well, Wolf, because we did see that they were sort of foregoing a fair bit of the being able to win, as I wonder if they intentionally wrote things on that fan sign upside down, because that would have been meta. Interesting. But yeah, pretty stock standard composition here. Can team fight very, very well until very late into the game. The Bros, a little bit less range, but certainly a lot of laning power, especially on that bottom side of the map. See whether Teddy and Namgun can continue the fantastic form. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 2. Nongshim versus Ro, as it was today.
Imagine a Hanjin Rion victory.
2-0. Absolutely insane if they were able to do it. Means that Nongshim will have lost to both KRX and Hanjin Brion.
Which would be crazy, but also there's kind of a precedent for it?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just weird that they can also go toe-to-toe with some of our best teams here in the LCK, and then drop the ball when it comes to some of the easier on-paper opposition. Maybe it's about what you were talking about, right? Like the fact that the league feels like it's consolidating a little bit more this season.
Well, it was very tier listy last year, and then, well, I mean, outside of the Rise group, and then the Rise group was like, well, who knows? We kind of know, but also we have no idea. We just know it's going to be very funny in the end.
Oh, look at the Skinergy.
Yeah, very purple.
That is very cool. Some Dark Star.
But also,
that was in the new TFT set. They brought it back as well.
Yeah, on both sides, kind of having some good Skinergy here, actually.
Yeah. I've been losing a lot in the new sets. Not been very fun, not gonna lie. Felt like I knew the old one really well, and now just completely clueless.
Winning is generally more fun than losing.
Yeah, it is how it goes. Although, if you really liked losing, imagine how much fun you'd have playing games.
My God, it would be the best.
It would be so fun. I don't think very many of us are at that point, though. As Loki getting this wave shoved in towards Scout, as Kingan just completely circumnavigating the wave in order to get towards casting here.
The Karma lane is winning. as a surprise to no one.
Yep.
Obviously, you mentioned it. The Caitlyn's been one of the better picks into this, and the Caitlyn Bard can. And there's like some wiggle room here, but they haven't been able to get out of the oppression yet, as Namgoong hits another Q. Namgoong's having a bit of a day, you know? I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit. I know that Degon is the big Brionne enjoyer and has been singing the praises of a lot of Brionne's successes this season when no one else has. And he's actually a bit of a hunch and predictor today. But Namgoong was the player we were all like, I don't know. He was 22. He's 22 years old. One of the latest debuts of a rookie in LCK history. He's 22 years old. So it feels like, can this guy learn new tricks? You know, has he peaked already? And he's made some of the biggest improvements we've seen out of any player this entire year, which is crazy to me because I had already kind of myself written him off as, okay, well, we don't have a lot of support talent here in Korea right now, and maybe he's one of the best that Bro could pick up. We'll see how he does, but it doesn't look great to start off, but it's looking better now. Speaking of...
Yeah, paying a visit to Scout here in this mid lane. As right now, Bro definitely doing a good job playing around their power points on the map, right? Not the presentation that you do to your boss. As Namgoong is going to turn up once again. And the Rune Prison does come on through. There's Snare down as well as Loki looking for that first blood, but is unable to find it thanks to the heal from Lehens.
You could say the heal was the key note there.
Oh, beautifully done. As Casting now taking a bit of damage from Kingen, who's very lucky not to be in turret range there, as we could see.
And Gideon is coming up.
Yeah. Casting, let's see whether he can land this third Q as the flash unrequired, as he was picking out the potential movement as Loki is, just going to try and leave a different way. As Scout close to going down, but will be able to pick up first blood. That was a very awkward situation there for Mr. Rise.
Yeah, it could have said that he was low-key dead. He's like low-key with a W.
Yeah, I get it. Just don't know whether I like it.
No, I mean, what else are we going to do? I mean, you started it with the PowerPoint thing.
Yeah,
I have to run it, but now you switched my mode. It's hard to switch it back as
he's
Loki
not a
has
washing machine, Wolf.
Turn the dial back!
We're on wool mode by accident.
Yeah, Loki, he didn't really have much he could do there. At least he did not flash, so that's good. He almost got enough damage to secure a kill for himself, but it was not likely going to be the case.
We're getting reported in chat, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It always
going straight to the authorities.
God, it's those guys who said BD was a robot, those casters.
Yeah, those idiots again. It's always the Bro games that gets us in trouble.
Yeah, it is.
There's far more gameplay, though, in this particular Bro game than the one that we were talking about before. And in fact, you had back-to-back, didn't you? So you had our very fun time Bro KT, and then on Wednesday, immediately afterwards, you had the next Bro Slaughter on the docket. I can't remember who that was.
I am also blanking on it as well, but it might have been B&K.
Yeah, I think you just probably wanted it out of your mind.
It was painful, but it was good for the winning team, which was not Bro.
Yeah.
Lehens is rooted.
Yeah, he's going to take a lot of damage here as he does Magically Journey away. Magical Journey going to be taken here by Sponge in order to get himself out of dodge. And Nongshim will keep themselves alive, but without very much priority here. As Teddy throwing some grenades over to Taeyun. And Gideon has started off this Dragon here at 6 minutes into the game. Pretty early first streak.
Able to, with that pressure they put on to Lehens and the forced Magical Journey, know that this is a pretty much guaranteed and safe setup here. Namgoong can even grab some of this Honey Fruit to make sure you get a rotation of spells in a potential contest. And Scout is not going to come down for this.
Yeah, he was lurking, but there is no Poppy in the vicinity. And Sponge, without Flash, does have his Hex Flash now activated.
I think it backstopped. No, Scout can't. He tried on the minimap there, but it looked like Scout was trying to essentially bait Loki into going to that brush where he could then sweep him back. Lehens was coming over. He was like, oh, you don't have full vision about whether we're going for the contest or not, but Loki was wise to it and did not step forward and also got his back channeled. Didn't complete it, though.
Yeah. Sponge going to be able to come on over and contest these Raptors, but was unable to get the big one. As Casting and Kingen just fighting each other. It is, the Bramble Vest has been completed. Phage is done here for Kingen. We have seen...
Dudu's Bramble Vest was not working yesterday. Yeah,
it was
not buttoned up, maybe.
Castings is working out relatively well, though, even though he is a couple of waves behind for now. Cassante looks to be trading relatively effectively.
Yeah.
So we'll see whether that is going to continue as, my goodness. Curtain Call going to come on through here as Lehens takes a very small Magical Journey, as has to flash the Comet, and Teddy has Oh, another one in the chamber, ladies and gentlemen. He uses it on the minion wave as he ran out of vision. And the back not going to get stopped here for Taeyun, who just decides to go home. Just doesn't want anything to do with this lane right now.
Imagine having to flash the Karma Q.
Comet.
Or sorry, the Comet, excuse me. Yes, even worse, and then just getting shot by like a targeted ability. He's like, oh, this Comet's gonna hit me if I don't flash 100%, and then the one that's aimed is the one that does him in. He's like, oh, I think I'm. Maybe
and he had an extra one to hit as well after that.
Yeah,
oh dear.
And also like, if he didn't flash and the kill went to Namgung, it would have been better for them as well.
But also, Taeyun had barrier and could have blocked it.
Yeah.
So let's just have a look at this. Lands the first two, flash goes out and kills him.
Yeah, he could have. There's literally no reason why he.
And kills him again.
Oh my God. Do you believe in magic?
Yes, I do. Our bro tax is going a long way.
Yeah,
today.
it really is. It's not even getting stretched. It almost feels like we've got a bit of a surplus, and it's early on in the year.
Yeah, this is crazy. As Taeyun going to get zoned, does avoid the deadly flourish, but Gideon is just taking an entire wave, and Taeyun now just needs to stop this one from crashing, but rock hard place in between all of that stuff just gets booted to the head.
Taeyun's like, I'm back.
Teddy grabs it.
I'm back. Hold on, I can help.
Yeah, Lens just shows up. He's like, Yeah, a little bit of a Donald Glover meme type situation there.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. And by a bit, I mean a lot. By a lot, I mean, is this game playable?
Well, it's not looking like it right now. 800 gold is not exactly a massive advantage.
But it's all on the Jhin, with a little bit onto Gideon as well here.
Oh man, Teddy's cutting through Lehens right now.
He is really, he's hitting quite hard.
It is, oh wow, okay. Scout committed to pressing the button as he did get the flash out of Loki. A worthy trade.
Yeah, definitely worth it if they can have a follow-up play, which they likely will have an opportunity for. 2 minutes until this dragon spawns, and a potential scout, or rather Sponge 2 scout gank here on the Poppy.
Oh, casting going in, as there is the Dominus just to try and stop casting from pressing that all-out button, and he didn't press it. So now that one's going to wear off, and then casting will have ult advantage for the next little while. You can see Kingen recognizes that, will be leaving the lane. And casting really taking some control here on this first item by situation in the lane.
The Bramble obviously incredibly strong into Renekton and makes it very difficult for him to trade with you, but did not even have to use his ultimate. Gets Kingens out. And it's very scary when you're landing into a Cassante when the Cassante has that power over you. You should be able to proc this Crystalline for free. Avoids the Q.
Yep.
Well, okay, looks like he's not going to go for it.
Not to press that button. So the Crystalline Overgrowth will continue to build here towards the top side, and casting has basically equalized the CS as well. Remember, he is the true tank, so very happy to just be going toe-to-toe here, 1-for-1. Okay. As another Deadly Flourish will connect. Magical Journey does get Lehens out of dodge, but it's not feeling too good. Gideon is going to get spotted here by Sponge, as Steadfast Presence does come on through. Cosmic Binding is decent there as well.
Lehens
not going to get punished.
Enchanters / range supports. He either kill or he die.
Yes.
He has a proclivity to fall behind on these and then continue to just walk forward and see what he can find, and sometimes it is to his detriment. This game looks like it might be heading in that direction, but we're still early days here at 11 minutes.
Oh, you can see Gideon thinking about making his way down. As Lehens steps on that captive audience, Q lands, and he dies again.
Oh boy, he die. He die, Atlas.
He die.
He do not kill. Taeyun is now in a bit of a dangerous position. As Scout, was rotating down, so they think better of this, but I think they're just happy to get a second dragon here instead.
Hold on. Casting gets a flash out of Kingen as well. So first it's the Dominus, then it's the flash. Thankfully, he will have the former available in 1 second's time, so that is back up.
Late contest here on this dragon.
Yeah, Ace in the hole does put Teddy down to half health as Namgung here alongside Gideon. Steadfast Presence, and then the ulti, he's just evicted. And that is going to be a free Drake over to Nongshim. Beautifully played there by Sponge.
That was pretty wild. Sponge clean with it, and he's just like, no, I don't think you can get this. I don't see the angle for you.
As it turns out, you are correct.
And no flash for Loki, so it was a close call there. Didn't have his ghost either, actually. Scout has been putting the pressure on this lane. Something I was going to mention before Lehens died there is that Scout knows there's no flash and talking about that follow-up Emperor's Divide, he was setting up for it constantly. He's actually generated a significant lead himself, just like game 1. And if he actually shows up to team fights and starts hitting the enemy champ and sets up for Emperor's Divides, like, I think this comp is super strong here for Nongshim. There's a bit of a gaping hole in the AD carry position, which is the first thing we said. We started talking about this matchup today is, that's where things could go wrong here for Nongshim if they're going to get upset. And Teddy is having a day, but I think Scout is the one who could save this game if there's going to be anyone to do it. Yeah,
and he will need to try and get on top of a Jhin, which could be difficult. Wants to be able to swoop on over and take him down, as Gideon is being frustrating, stealing away the enemy camps. Does get information that the other two are available as well, but not going to push his luck, as Casting is catching this wave as soon as it shows up, very close to his Iceborne Gauntlet. There is at least a Black Cleaver here, as Namgung is going to take Taeun for a walk and gets his flash. My goodness. That is going to be Loki snared by this Tempered Fate, though, and the Emperor's Divide is so easy. There's the Poppy combo, as they heroically charge him down. It also sets up the Cosmic Binding. My goodness, nothing Loki could do there.
At least, Taeun, he had to flash, but he survives here, so they can actually try to collapse, maybe.
Loki could have ghosted out of the Tempered Fate, potentially. But that is a little bit hindsighting.
Yeah, it was on the edge.
Over once again, there's a Magical Journey held in place by the Deadly Flourish as well.
Now, Sponge is here. I don't think Namgung should push the issue too much further until Gideon arrives.
Yeah, is going to try and get Sponge here. Flashes to break another tether. That is 2 flashes in a row that Namgung's be able to pick up in the last few minutes' time, as a Q is going to be there to try and zone, but Kingen makes his way in, and Gideon just gets destroyed.
Chain CC and then the Steadfast Presence to prevent him from getting out. He is just not getting away with that one. And
this is a lot of minions.
Yeah, that is a significant amount. In fact, it's Taeun who's coming up here to try to clear those up with the commitment of the Renekton their bottom side. Let's watch this again. Yeah, I think he just thought he had enough and didn't want to use the Ghost. He miscalculated. Yeah, and then the shove into the wall here of the Emperor's Divide is beautiful to see. It's an interaction we see a lot with these two champions. And obviously didn't have flash from earlier. Then here, Sponge is forced to flash, but then they go too far. As Gideon is on a ward here. And then Sponge is like, all right, I got ult, I got Steadfast Presence. Lehens is like, I'm happy to stun him. They just use everything to kill the Gideon.
Well, there's a little bit of a realm warp in live, as we can see. Kingen's walking the wrong direction. Casting going to catch the Crocodile, push him away from that brush, and Kingen will not be flashing here. Oh, it does manage to slice over, but there's a Q beautifully placed by Gideon, and he's able to lock down the kill.
Maybe they can make something happen on the cross map here. There's a little bit of time. Tempered Fate back available as well.
Yeah, the Bro bottom lane playing so respectfully here. They might just lose this turret regardless, as Scout is going to be moving up. Crystalline Overgrowth goes pop, and that is some more plate money going over. Lehens still looking pretty killable right now, but does manage to land a nice parting Cosmic Binding.
I think Casting is winning the race here for first brick on the bottom side, so this is not a really big win here for Nongshim at all. Casting should be able to secure this. That's going to be a lot of extra money going over to Bro, but at least Nongshim now have Herald control. Going back to this play here, not entirely sure how it started. Okay, we saw the Realm Warp in Pip, and he ran away from it, but was then just trying to buy time as they immediately ping topside. I think it's Lehens who's making those pings. Like, we got to cross map now.
Yeah.
As you can see on the minimap, Scout's pretty far away for the punish and did not commit his TP. So they get the push in, they get some damage done. He gets the Crystalline Overgrowth. They don't get the turret, but they will get some plates and likely to get this Rift Herald. As you can see, Gideon's still in base. So Scout will eventually get this turret. And this is a very close game.
Yeah, it is. And with the Rift Herald going on over, I think we should have a bit of a swing back in Nongshim's favor alongside this turret as well that has just gone down.
Yeah, if they can get that mid-turret, it's only 1 plate left on it. Yes. Might even use the Herald elsewhere.
So 1 apiece on dragons, 1 apiece on turrets, and the gold is basically even. The only advantage that Nongshim have right now is the 3 grubs that they have picked up.
Bros seem to have a rapid-fire cannon over Taeun in the inventory.
Wow.
That's, I'm looking at that and I'm like, wow, that's pretty
just
wild.
The advantage.
I think, 1,400 gold is a little less than the cost of that. I think maybe Taeun hasn't bought any items in a little while, but he's got his Greaves online at least.
Yeah, it does certainly feel like he's due a reset.
The angle here for Scout, I think, is pretty predictable, so I don't think he should be able to punish Gideon, who has flash and easily Sin.
Ooh, teleport in from Casting to start this one off early.
Bro, just proactive.
So proactive, exactly.
Yeah.
in all of the movements. I don't know whether it's necessarily going to work out quite as well this time, though, because Shelly is in the mix. They do just send her forward to try and knock down this outer turret in mid lane. Teleport in from Kingen. A little bit late, but better late than never, as the Dragon goes down to about 50%. The outer turret falls in that mid lane like we were talking about, as the Q connects onto Taeyun. That's dangerous, but there is the Keeper's verdict. Tempered Fate is going to connect here, as Deadly Flourish lands onto Scout. That's a dangerous one, as in goes Gideon, finds the knockup. It is going to be Sponge that locks down the Dragon, but can they keep themselves alive? Man, Namgung is doing way more damage than he has any right to be honest, on this Karma, as now Lehen's looking to try and turn it. The Flash Cosmic Binding is so good, and Sponge gets the follow-up. And Nongshim spring to life here, looking for even more as Scout swoops in with the shifting sands. The K'Sante will be the resulting kill from that one. Teddy now having to leave this one immediately. And Loki, oh dear. I think he's got Realm Warp. He's got Realm Warp. He is going to warp the realms. And Nongshim just seemed to be okay with it.
Yeah, they're like, I'll take the turret, it's fine. Although,
wait, hang on a sec. Loki's just going to walk back. Deadly Flourish is going to connect. Scout taking a lot of damage, does eventually go down, as Teddy with a curtain call. Lehens, oh dear, he's just dead. Teddy is inside Lehens' brain right now.
If I'm Lehens, I am like so angry this game with how things are going. Some self-inflicted, some other times just outplayed. Taeyun here gets caught by this Q3, but the rest of this fight is about the knockup here from Sponge. And then this ends up being a pretty close Dragon where Gideon wants to get access, wants to get in, but he's pushed into the wall by Sponge. He cannot get into smite range. And then Namgung, this Q is like actually almost won Bro the team fight. Like, it's crazy. But casting this takes too much damage, and Bro were a little bit indecisive on this one. And they committed in, but they did not have the tools to actually force this fight. If they had Realm Warp behind or something like that, I would have liked to play more. They're just a little bit too slow, cannot really get out. Snipe goes on a casting, and then I don't know what was going on here. Scout, just, you don't have to do this.
I think he probably just assumed that Loki would respect the fact that 4 people could have still been there.
And Teddy's Flourish was the other big issue. Maybe he didn't expect that to come through, because it was a Rune Prison into Flourish, and he just kind of got stuck. And then Lehens was just collateral damage. Wow, it's a gold graph.
Wow, the peak of Nongshim did pretty immediately get taken down. And now we are back to a very even game once again. And so Nongshim were able to find that very small, bit of value, as we just saw there represented in the gold graph, but it's now just done. Back to the drawing board.
We saw a big mistake well, let's say not mistake, but overextension, a good punish from Bro there, where Scout ended up dying, Lehens ended up dying. But beyond that, in straight up grouped fights, it's been Nongshim's game, as casting is going to make this choice.
Yeah, Lehens is coming on over. And so casting, let's see whether he can use this all out. Does do so in order to try and escape.
I guess he can. There's no teammates here for him, but some are coming down.
Yeah, it does use the mini wave in order to dash away. Sponge, oh dear. Remember, he does have steadfast presence, uses it very nicely, as the Poppycopter does try to take off, but will be cancelled.
Gonna get this turret in return. I mean, both solo laners are here, but there's no one responding in the top lane, so it's not really at a cost here to Nongshim. It's just a trade up, or a positive for them.
Depends if they can defend this outer turret, but man, it is very healthy right now.
I think they can. Ooh, Teddy is a big shot there.
That's, was that ace in the hole?
No, I think it was just a Q.
Just a headshot? My goodness.
Q and headshot, I think both, but I didn't actually see the beginning of it.
Well, that was a bit of boom boom. Loki going to move back towards this top lane. And as this game goes on, we have to remind everyone that Nongshim's composition gets more and more scary.
Yeah, this is the thing that I really like for them position-wise, because they've been winning team fights straight up. Sure, the lead for Bro was there, but most of it was just out of some big mistakes and great plays from Gideon early on in the bottom lane, where Teddy was given a 3-kill advantage. You know, he was up at, I think, at peak 1,700 gold over his opposition. He's 3-0-2 still. He's the only one on his squad who hasn't died yet this game, but he's Jhin. And, you know, I know we've said this a lot, but if the rest of the team isn't finding success, the Jhin doesn't carry by himself. And so even a player like Teddy struggles in these situations.
Why does Taeyun have a bounty and Teddy doesn't?
You know what? Don't ask about the bounties. That's kind of like the unspoken rule. You didn't get the DM from Freak about that? He's
no,
like, look, we actually don't understand here either. So it's actually part of why he stepped away.
Well, I mean, they do have the IE done for Taeun, so it does make sense that he would be public enemy #1 for the bros. But looks like Teddy's going for the Stormrazor third build.
Isn't Jin, more of the outlaw type, and Caitlyn's also kind of like the sheriff? So why would there be a bounty on the police woman's head?
That's a really good point.
Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, a lot of control here of this bottom lane for Nongshim. They're trying to collapse on the casting again.
Yeah, does manage to just avoid the Tempered Fate very nicely, but the Cosmic Binding still lands. Heroic Charge, the follow-up, just too good. And Scout gets the Sand Soldier down to wipe out the Cassante.
It's so insane with this build.
Yeah, this is like big damage build.
At first, I'm like, well, it's Cassante. He avoided the Tempered Fate. He's out, I guess. He's got Flash. Doesn't get the Flash, and then Scout just touches him twice and he explodes. I was a bit shocked at the damage, but it was enough. And Nongshim or not, they're actually going to take Cloud Soul Point here. And this is a very different look from game 1 and a very different look from the early game.
Oh, Lahen's going to interrupt Gideon here, but isn't going to do anything more than that. Kingin with some spare time towards this bottom inner turret. Feeling the tempo vibes shift away from the bros, though, Wolf.
Yeah, so he avoids the Tempered Fate, but Lehens is still able to get this done. I think casting should have flashed this.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of disrespect.
Yeah, if you lose your Flash here and you don't have it for the team fight, that can be annoying, but you're Cassante, you got a lot of mobility, you're super tanky. I think living there and maybe buying some time could have actually been the better play, but ultimately he decides not to, or perhaps thought he could get away, but I don't think so. At the end of the day, Lehens gets the catch on them, and down he goes. Still a lead here for Teddy, but everything else is kind of falling apart.
Problem is, that lead is just a Jin.
Yeah.
And it's hard for him to carry on his own, right? Like you were saying, good at augmenting the rest of your team. But if he's the only one with money, it can be problematic. But now they're looking to overload this mid lane. Kingin taking a lot of damage from the aforementioned Jin. As Loki unable to get that Rune Prison down, the rest of Nongshim looking to turn up. And the Tempered Fate will be avoided, as now it's the bros' turn to try and turn this one around. There's a teleport in from casting. Immediately that shield is going to get wiped out as Namgung will be slowing up Sponge there momentarily. Kingin gets into that backline. The kickback is immediate though, just to buy some space. And this Crocodile is getting cut to shreds. Nongshim are just going to back away, but the Sun Disc does get put up.
Potential Baron angle here. They have a lot of control over this zone. They need some control vision in this pit, though.
Have they taken enough cooldowns, though? That's the question, as the curtain call is going to be put down. Lehens very, not exactly adept at dodging these bullets, but Scout's going to take that last one. Nongshim looking well and truly softened up before this potential fight. So it looks like the bros are just going to go for a reset, play it safe.
That's the right call. But they got a lot of tools out. Unfortunately for Nongshim, that doesn't necessarily mean they can do anything, because there's no Dragon up right now. There's no outer turrets. There's no real objective to take, but they can just reset and take the vision away and see if they can force Bro into an uncomfortable spot. That kick from Gideon, though, on the Kingin flank was so huge. I think if he actually doesn't hit that almost exact angle there, they probably end up losing some members there, and the Baron is just for free. So that was an incredible play from him. Very difficult to execute and react in that moment, but he handled it perfectly.
Namgung now able to make his way away from the river. Sponge was lurking, because we have 2 minutes until this Cloud Soul point that you were talking about before. Nongshim with a lot of control of the map based on the fact that they're the ones that get so much of a benefit from this dragon. As Lehens just wandering around trying to get vision and does take half of his health bar, needs to magically journey his way out. As the trap line is set, and Nongshim have started off the Baron, they do give up on it very quickly, looking for a turn more than anything else.
Absolutely, and if Bro make a mistake on the approach, they just win the game. So they have to be very, very methodical, Bro, about how they want to come over here and check this vision. And they have, this leapfrog set of control wards. It's very difficult to play around here. If you're Bro, Gideon's got to watch out, man. He's close to the wall with a Poppy on the other side.
Yeah, that was a scary position to be in. Namgung doesn't quite find the Mantra Q as Kingin on a flank angle once again. Let's see who we can actually find. It's Casting's his target. I'm not sure about that one. Tempered Fate, though, is right on top of the Renekton to buy some space for Kingin. Meanwhile, Loki getting some damage down towards this Bard, and Nongshim will just back away once again. Not overly committing. These half commitments to fights have been happening over and over again.
And now Bro have all their ults back, so I feel like that was a net positive for them. The gold lead is still there, but it's very small. And it's really this Azir that's the big threat. It doesn't necessarily mean that Loki cannot do massive damage if given the right conditions. And Gideon's found some great angles. Almost felt like that Tempered Fate from Lehens was like, kick this, man. You can't. It's untargetable. He's trying to shield Kingen from what happened last time. But now there's no Baron pressure. And in fact, there's vision for Bro in the pit.
So what does Nongshim do to try and fight back against that? I think the answer is...
for Dragon.
Yeah, play for Dragon. 30 seconds on that one. And they do have the shove in this mid lane. Sundisk is so good for buying that mid priority. And that is what they're going to do. Kingen once again wrapping around from the side. Slices, dices, gets on top of Namgung and gets his flash over the wall.
That was actually a pretty big angle there for Sponge, almost blocking Gideon's retreat there with a steadfast presence. That could have been a huge angle, could have gotten his flash, but he played it well. Gideon, that is.
Now a tiny choke point here with a bunch of traps in it at the same time. This turret does go down and they can take a long walk back towards this dragon.
They got control vision on the way there. They have Sundisk. They have traps. I think this dragon is just gone, so they're going to make the call to go for Baron.
Yeah,
and they have the Realm Orb.
Immediately on top of it, the rest of Nongshim booking it to get over here, and it looks like Bro just going to back away.
It's a beautiful call from Bro, though. Pulls Nongshim off of that Cloud Soul, but now they need to be able to defend.
They are pinging onto Scout, as Scout was walking back towards the dragon. The Bros immediately started up because they see that, and then as soon as he starts walking back up, they are going to stop. So the Baron is going to reset once again.
They're playing this juggle game, but Scout has TP, so he can actually eventually come over to this Baron at any point. So Bro, not really in a commanding position right now. Not to mention, Lehens has his ultimate, so he can pull off a lot of different plays here. It's just really tough for Bro.
They're doing their best to deny vision. Decent Cosmic Binding comes through there as well, as Nongshim do have decent amounts of poke. That is going to be the Drake secured. There's the Tempered Fate. It's not onto the Baron, though, as now Sponge is going to get rid of the Rise, and in they go. Sponge locks down the Baron. Oh, Bros, this is not what you wanted to see, as the Caitlyn locks down the kill onto Namgung. Teddy gets hit by the ulti, and now Scout is looking to clean up. Nowhere for Loki and Teddy to go unless they go through, as they have a fair bit of damage, and Scout is just dead. Yeah, he does still have ult in the grave.
He might have wanted to use it, but I guess was looking for a more idealistic angle there. Either way, they end up getting the Baron. They got Cloud Soul.
And they get a bunch. Like, look at this Rebel Baron power play. It's already up to 2,000.
There's so much inner gold to take here. So watching this fight again, I think Bro, we talk about Rock and Hard Place a lot, but there isn't a great call to make here. The Tempered Fate also only hits the jungler, but it buys enough space here for Sponge to find this angle. And unfortunately for Gideon, he's so scared about the approach, he smites early and
went down to 25 health or something like that. Actually, a little bit unfortunate.
Scout here just trying to block the retreat. I think if he ults right away, he's actually fine, but did not do so, so ends up getting punished there. Good play from Teddy.
Yeah, wanted to buy time for the rest of the team to move over, but unfortunately just wasn't able to find some success there. But now, as the dust settles, Taeyun is almost at 4 items. So this Caitlyn, very scary, very soon.
It looks like the Curse of Atlas in at least 5 games. And it's on the cards here.
Yeah. Teddy is very close to his IE, though. Actually decided not to go for the Stormrazor. That is so cool. As all right, now I'm going to show up and make this 1v1 a little bit unfair, as Kingen going to get snared. Does have to flash as he goes back in. Not sure about that one. But was trying to maybe land a W.
Delay their backs.
Get a Q or something like that, and then win, yeah. The rest of Nongshim, though, are going to just take all of the structures. Taeyun is dead, though, as Gideon gets delivered, doesn't even need to kick. And now casting goes all out. Sponge is moved away from that inhibitor turret as Gideon able to kick him back. The curtains are called and Sponge just stands in front of it. Not sure about that. That is going to give the kill over to Teddy.
There have been some questionable moves here from Nongshim in this pretty significant lead. It's kind of reminiscent of Bro making a few fumbles in game 1 despite ultimately winning. But Bro, I mean, they've got a wave here. There's a lot of bounty gold on the map. Nongshim, this is a quite costly set of mistakes. So here, Kingen's caught in the side lane, which is not the end of the world. As you can see in live, they're going to get that bounty gold on the mid-outer turret. See if they can get a second one. I mean, they have all 5 members here. And then here, Taeyun is greeting for this inhibitor. Could have let the minions do a lot more of the work and waited for his teammates to peel for him. I think this is just wholly unnecessary.
Oh, Tempered Fate. Yeah, connects onto Loki. As Cosmic Binding as well, doing a whole bunch of work. Casting down exceptionally low, and Nongshim, they want even more. Let's see whether the Hens can find any angles as Namgung trying to slow them down. Taeyoon very far away from this fight, and Sponge is only just making his way out of base. So the Bros, I think, will be successfully able to navigate their way out. The problem is, they're going back to a basically broken base.
Yeah, this middle inhibitor is naked, but they finally do get this wave over. I think Nongshim should be able to siege this one up and take it out. Gideon just got his GA, and he is a big threat, but they do not want to fight outside of their Nexus turrets, so they're just going to lose it.
2 inhibitors down, 2 minutes on this Elder Dragon.
Yeah.
Nongshim, if they keep up this pressure, they'll just be able to keep Bro in their base, and it's going to be so difficult to do anything. The Poppycopter does come on through and is reset. I think will be available relatively soon.
I think they can just back away and play for Elder, but they really want more here in the space, and they're doing a bunch of damage.
Well, the Realm Warp is going to come on through as Gideon's delivered once again. Emperor's Divide just comes out in trade for the Realm Warp, and now Kingin presses the Dominus and just dies. Now the curtains are being called. Maybe an overstay here for Nongshim as Taeyoon wants to be able to do something, but the bullets will not land. The Caitlyn's able to make its way out. There is casting falling down though, and my goodness, the damage from Scout is just massive. Taeyoon is able to come back in and lands the headshot to finish off the Lee Sin. Loki the last man standing, and I think, Wolf, we are going the distance in this series as it's going to be a 3-gamer for our first series of the day, as Nongshim will be able to clap back against the Bros.
Game 2, he was the main character. He was in every single team fight, just doing so much damage. Most of his ultimates were pretty impactful as well. He had a great laning phase, was given some resources there into Loki, and kind of ran away with things.
These gold graphs, by the way, are just a mess.
Yeah.
In both